Well, welcome back to the Chambers Radio Hour. This is Ed Dwyer of Dwyer Advisory, and I'm really excited about this segment featuring Pitch Factory and one of our winners from 2 years ago. So do go to our website, the Chamber website, and see Pitch Factory. And I'm sitting here with Scott Maynard and Kim Jones, who, as we described, is owner of Tropical Vibes. So we'll allow her to describe that business. But I was been involved with Scott for the last 3 years. I was with North Avenue Capital. We were the sponsor for Pitch Factory and did some teaching along the way in the program. And it's just an amazing opportunity for you budding entrepreneurs to come in and go through a 6-week course. So we'll talk more about that. With that, Scott, why don't you introduce Kim and tell the story?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we are so excited to be able to continue to host Pitch Factory again this year. It's a partnership with the Women's Business Center and the Jacks Chamber. It's inspired by the Jacks Bridges program, which is a famous program, and they do such good work there. But Pitch Factory is a 6-week workshop to help entrepreneurs, as you said, prepare for starting their business. And it's always a delight to see the successes that come out of that. And Kim Jones is certainly one of those successes as the co-founder of Tropical Vibes. It's a fast-growing lifestyle brand that blends her passion for branding with love of tropically inspired way of life, which that's why we all moved to Florida.
That's right.
So with over 20 years of experience, she brings a passion to this business. And Kim, tell us a little bit more about Tropical Vibes first.
Fantastic. Thank you both for having me this morning. And yeah, Tropical Vibes is a lifestyle brand that was really inspired by my love for all things tropical. My husband and I started it about 5 years ago now, and we started as a travel agency and designed some hats and shirts that we were going to give to all of our travelers. And we were awful travel agents. And so we pivoted and focused on the hats and shirts and items for the home. And fast forward 5 years, we're now also just launching our Tropical Vibes rum. So it's been a fantastic journey, and Pitch Factory certainly played a big part in getting us where we are today.
So the rum is intriguing. Let's talk a little bit about that rum, because I understand it's award-winning rum that you sell.
Yes, absolutely. We've only been in market about 6 months with the rum, and entered it into a competition in February. And first competition out of the gate, we were up against 450 plus other spirits, and we won silver for taste. And so we are really excited about the rum, excited to get it on shelf here in Florida, and really looking forward to what comes next with that. Absolutely.
And what a great pairing, right? You have the outerwear and the clothing line, and then to match that with the rum is just amazing. Brilliant planning and marketing there. Yeah,
that's what it's all about. We're trying to take over the tropically inspired space and really give people an opportunity to live the Tropical Vibes lifestyle.
You know, one of the great things about Pitch Factory, I think, with those 6 weeks is it walks you through each segment of business development. So you kind of start out that first week with a value proposition and really understanding your business and what it's about. I know going into that second week, we title it Jobs to be Done. What is it going to really take to do this business? Because so many people start a new business with an idea in mind that may be a great idea, but getting that idea from concept to actual development is a huge step. So understanding that business model and how that all comes together and fits together and all of the moving pieces. I know, Ed, one of your famous sayings is you need, what, 3 people?
Proper CPA, attorney, and banker. That's right.
You have to have all of those in place to be able to advise and to guide you. And certainly the marketing aspect of that is critical as well. And in week 4, we put together a capability statement. So really understanding and being able to tell the story of your business, right? So, you know, so many people, you ask them, what do you do? And you get kind of a vague answer, but the idea behind this is to be able to truly tell and sell your story, not only your product, but your story as well. And then one of the huge benefits of Pitch Factory, that fifth week goes into the revenue model and the market fit. So understanding, again, how you are going to be successful and make money, and understanding, more importantly, what are those costs that come into play that you probably haven't even thought about yet. And then Pitch Factory ends with the pitch day. So you and everyone else in the cohort gets an opportunity to pitch to a group of professionals for some cash money prizes. But again, it's also a great way to learn and to grow and to be able to sell your business. So, Kim, why don't you talk a little bit about your experience with Pitch Factory?
Absolutely. It was a terrific experience. It was fantastic. A couple things in terms of takeaways. I would say probably the biggest one is that it really forced me to get out of my own head. And as an entrepreneur, sometimes you get so caught up in your product or your service, it's difficult to step back and really think about the market fit, think about that scalability, all of those things, because you are so in the day-to-day. And I loved carving out that time, those 6 weeks, meeting other entrepreneurs, but really having an opportunity to talk to other people and, again, get out of my own head and really think about the business and think about the people that I needed to surround myself with in order to be successful.
Well, and I remembered, and each year's has been like this, but you're right. It's the people experiencing it together became friends, right? Like there's a lot of bonding that was going on, helping each other. And I know those relationships lasted well after Pitch Factory.
We're still in contact.
Nice.
So, yeah, which is fantastic. So, but I think you walk in in our case, we had an ongoing business, an up and running business, but we still were, it was very much still an idea. But when you walk out of Pitch Factory, you've got a very clear strategy as to what you need to do, when you need to do it, and how it needs to be done.
And what's great about the program from our perspective is you can be in that model from I just have a concept and I really haven't done much yet with this idea of a new business, to where you were, where I have a business that's up and running. Now I need to understand how to scale that business and really make it grow. So it helps to bring all of those different people together as you form that cohort. And I'm like Ed, it's always amazing for me to see the relationships that build between the cohorts and helping each other out understand where the problems lie and throwing questions at you. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? And helping you learn from that.
Yeah, that was very valuable, very helpful.
So as you moved from Pitch Factory to growing your business, what were some of the things that you learned in Pitch Factory that helped you sell your product, maybe even sell your business idea to other investors, or continue to grow your business? I know you have an office now, and you're
It's not that fancy.
And it shouldn't be.
I would say that, again, one of the biggest takeaways was that, I don't need to have all the answers, but I just needed to learn to ask better questions. And I think one of the most valuable takeaways, like you said, was that people were asking me questions that I had never thought of, that I'd never considered. And so the number of blind spots I think that you can have as an entrepreneur, it really can be dangerous, because you can be really far down that road, have invested a lot of time and money. And if somebody isn't willing to ask you those difficult questions and really challenge you, you can very quickly get yourself into a world of hurt. And so I think that really was probably the biggest takeaway, is just learn to ask better questions and be willing to listen to the answers, even if they don't always necessarily make you feel good about what you're doing. So,
well, that's right. I think any business, any chamber member listening, you have to have your own kind of board of directors per se around you, not official, but people that will tell you the truth. That's thus the banker, CPA, attorney. They're definitely in that trio to challenge you, but others, right? And And I know you did that. And I also applaud you. You're one of the few people that actually called me after Pitch Factory was over and said, can we meet? You wanted a follow-up, which is great. And I maybe talk a little bit about how you were struggling with this notion of, as you had growth, that's great, but that meant more inventory. You had to have storage. And you came up with a concept of, that I believe you implemented, the licensing.
Licensing. Yep, absolutely. We had to pivot. We were on a road. And again, one of the things I learned in Pitch Factory was we had a good idea, but we did not have a scalable business.
Mm-hmm.
And so again, Pitch Factory helped me get that clarification, that understanding that there's a big difference between a great idea and a scalable business, and the resources and tools and things that you need to scale are very different than just, and again, if somebody wants to, make cookies in their closet and sell them out of the trunk of their car, still a great idea, but not necessarily a scalable business, which takes a very different skill set and the ability, again, to look at what you're doing and make those changes as needed.
And that scale has grown to now you're in over 100 stores, which is amazing.
And 43 states with the rum. So
all right.
One of the things I wanted to be sure to point out is you do not have to be a chamber member in order to participate in Pitch Factory. Pitch Factory is open to anyone in the community. You can find information at sjcchamber.com to get that information, and reach out to us at info@sjcchamber.com as well, and we can get you the link to get signed up and ready to go. And Ed, I know you worked with Kim a lot even after Pitch Factory. And I know your advisory firm does that for a lot of different businesses. So I want to talk a little bit about that and how that helped, because I know it was a tremendous help to Kim.
No, that's right. It's kind of been a natural for me to be doing this and meeting with Kim today, and in the work we did with Pitch Factory. I've been a career banker, 40 years as a banker. I've owned my own business. I own my business now, Dwyer Advisory. And so coupling all those years of experience, which is why it's fun to teach at Pitch Factory, and I taught at a banking school. And so I created this business to do just that, to be another set of eyes and ears to help any of you out there you're growing your business, but a little like Kim said, you start to go, uh-oh, maybe I'm growing too fast. Now what? If you might say you need help with the proper CPA attorney and a banker, right? I've got the network out there to help you. And so that is really what it is. I'm advocating for businesses, which is what the Chamber does. They advocate for business here in St. Johns County. So our missions are aligned. That's why it's wonderful to host the show. And Kim, maybe your last pitch in terms of where to contact you. You certainly pull up Tropical Vibes and boom, your website's right there. But last thought for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say enough about the program. If you're considering it, if you've got a good idea, if you're in business, maybe early stage, take the time, invest the time in yourself. It is a tremendous, tremendous program. And we're at tropicalvibes.com, and we're located in Nocatee. So if you're in the area, stop by. My very sparse office.
Tropicalvibes.com. Great. Thank you so much, Kim. It's always great to see your smiling face, and we appreciate you joining us today.
Absolutely. We're going to take a break for a couple more songs, and we'll return with the Chamber execs here and talk a little bit about what is happening with programming in the future here.